Before we make our awards, I want to recognize and call on Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who's joined us. Congresswoman, would you come forward?
Thank you so much, Congressman Gephardt. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and really want to commend you on your leadership at the National Endowment for Democracy. And I know my good friend Mauricio Claver-Corona is in the audience as well, and he really is to be commended for his tireless advocacy on behalf of the freedom of the people of Cuba. To all of the courageous and inspiring award recipients, thank you so much. Is he here? Yes? No? Well, thank him in his absence. You've brought this community together by standing up for liberty. You've spoken out against the Cuban regime for what it is, a dictatorship that has no regard for civil rights, religious freedom, open media, or any of the democratic ideals that we cherish. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving the Cuban people hope for a future government that will protect political and economic liberty. Over the past several decades, the Western Hemisphere has seen a steady march toward freedom and respect for human rights. Cuba, unfortunately, has been marching backwards. During the infamous Black Spring in March of 2003, the Cuban government launched a massive crackdown and imprisoned 75 democracy activists, many of whom we are honoring here this evening. At present, 54 of the group of 75 political prisoners remain incarcerated. In 2007, the Inter-American Commission's annual Human Rights Report found a situation of permanent and systematic violations of the fundamental rights of Cuban citizens. In February of this year, the U.S. State Department issued a report on Cuba with findings of arbitrary arrest and detention, harassment, beatings, and threats against political opponents, life-threatening prison conditions, including denial of medical care, and pervasive monitoring of private communications. The people of Cuba have suffered too much for too long under the Castro regime. They deserve a better future that will be defined by freedom. And that brings me to tonight's honorees. Although Cuban authorities continue to stifle dissent and repress freedoms, pro-democracy and human rights activists remain committed to freedom and continue to call attention to Cuba's poor human rights record. Make no mistake, any Cuban who has the courage to publicly oppose the Castro dictatorship is a hero. And I'm pleased to know that we are honoring 5 of these heroes with the Democracy Award tonight. It gives me great pride to help you honor Jorge Luis Garcia Perez, affectionately called Antunes, Jose Daniel Ferrer Garcia, Librado Linares, Ivan Hernandez Carrillo, and Iris Tamara Perez Aguilera for their unwavering dedication to Cuba's civic resistance movement, despite the tremendous risks involved, imprisonment, defamation, and even death. These men and women live the words of one of our founding fathers in the United States, Patrick Henry, who famously declared, "Give me liberty or give me death." It is incredibly important to me as a non-Cuban that I am here tonight to help you honor all of tonight's honorees and all of the Cuban people who hunger for just a taste of freedom. This serves as a sobering reminder for us of why we must continue to speak out against Castro's oppression. And my promise to you today is that I will continue to work with my colleagues in Congress, Ileana Ross-Layton and my two Diaz-Balart compatriots and Albio Series, Senator Menendez as well, to stand up for the Cuban people in their quest to secure their rights, speak as they choose, think as they please, and choose their leaders freely and fairly. And as we carry out that work, I am grateful and empowered to have you all by my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman.